This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You're not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about Disney magic without the pixie dust. I'm an acquirer of rare antiquities known as Nathan Hartman, and with me tonight are some of my favorite rats of all the rats. Hello, Sarah. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello.
Dave. Welcome, Dave.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And last but certainly not least, it's Janine.
Hello. This moment always racks me with terror. I don't know what to say, and I feel like I have to come up with something new every time. And
Literally.
like, how many languages can or should I say it in? Ugh.
You've never said it in German, even though you've been taking German
Because
class.
they just say hello
Hello.
Is it really just hello in German?
with an A instead of an E.
Be careful
Hello.
with your
Hello.
careful with your German. We're gonna be talking about the Indiana Jones trailer, but I'm just in the, I'm in punching mode for Germans at the moment. So be careful, everybody.
Wow.
Just be careful. No tea, no shade, Germans. But you know how it is. I got that indie fever.
Well,
so
apparently they fell out of the World Cup.
well,
Oh.
good. No, I don't
So.
even care. I don't. It's fine.
I don't
whatever.
either. I was
know.
informed of that.
So welcome to Soccer Heads. This is a soccer podcast about soccer. Let's begin.
By people who know nothing about soccer.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about someone getting kicked, and we talked, of course, about this on our bonus episode because Disney loves to shoot out news either after we record or right before we record. But of course, for those that did not listen, I would recommend you do. But our cardigan daddy has returned. Bob Iger is once again CEO of the Walt Disney Company, and Bob Chapek has been fired, as many of you know at this point. And I want to start, we're just going to have a little reflection on this because those of us that were on the breaking news pod have had some time to reflect. There's some extra news that has come out. But I want to begin with the fact that Bob Chapek most likely found out at or slightly before he was to introduce Elton John at his final American concert, which was going to be streamed live at Disney Plus. And in that same room, someone felt the force change just slightly before the concert, and that was Dave. Dave, you were at the Elton John concert.
I was enjoying every moment, singing along with every word, but so for some reason, right near the beginning, I was like, wait a minute. And then like my text started going off. People were like, something felt weird. And then all of a sudden I started getting these texts. Are you on Twitter right now? Have you seen the blah, blah, blah? And I was there with a bunch of Disney nerd friends. So we all sort of chewed the fat about that right before the show started. So it was a really weird preamble, very strange preamble to the show.
Yeah,
Did
that
he
would
end
be.
up introducing Elton John?
No.
No. I mean, I think that was a rumor. I mean, I don't know if he was gonna, but
No, the Dodgers media guy ended up doing it.
Yeah.
That was last minute, from what everyone says. Now, I don't know if he even made it to the Dodger Stadium. I don't know, but he was planning on it at least earlier that day. So,
yeah,
what a way to learn. What a way to learn. That's something else. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, indeed. To say the least. But the concert was pretty amazing. I can only imagine the electricity in the room.
It was great. It was, it's just, I had bought these tickets so long ago, and to be honest, I didn't even know it was the last night.
Oh,
because we bought it when they added more tickets and they added another night, and I went, okay, great, we'll go to that one. I had no idea until about 3 months before, and I went, wait a minute, this is the last one of the North American tour. And then we found out they were streaming it, and you sort of forget the historical significance of it, but you get swept up in it in the middle of it. I was full on screaming, crying, throwing up, and it was great. The most incredible thing was, as much of a big spectacle as that stage was, there's obviously quite a lot of stuff they added to the house or to the stadium for the broadcast. They added a bunch of extra lighting packages and upwash on all the supports and washes over and razzle dazzle over the crowd. And so it was obviously there to sort of make it really camera pretty. And so it really made it, as overused a word, but it made it very immersive. It
Mm,
was really like I was in the middle of the spectacle like I've never been in before. It was pretty great.
that's awesome. As we just alluded to, the bitch is back. Bob Iger is on site as we speak. Some news that we learned since the firing. One of them was that the CFO, Christine McCarthy, and several other Disney executives sort of, I guess, led the rebellion to oust Bob Chapek. They were pushing for this. And what's interesting about that is some news broke. It was an exclusive from the Wall Street Journal that broke, oh gosh, I think a couple minutes before we recorded, because it was 4 o'clock this afternoon, but I just saw it. But the under Chapek, Disney had been looking at ways to restructure with advice from an organization that does this kind of stuff, a consulting firm called the McKinsey and Company, and they were trying to centralize control and basically cut people. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Is the hope and desire was to cut people and change things like that. But if you kind of read up on it, all the advice sort of ended up being that basically the newest arm that was created, the Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution area, which was kind of led by Kareem Daniel, who was kind of Chapek's right-hand man. They were just going to get a lot more control. So all of marketing for every film was about to go through them, so they could use analytics instead of artistic gut instinct to figure out how to market stuff. There was a lot of things like that happening. And what I think is really funny about a lot of this is the desire to bring on McKinsey to begin with comes from Christine McCarthy. She was the one championing doing that because it would save them money. So I think it's really funny that someone who definitely helped cause a lot of chaos internally for the company also decided to lead the rebellion. I guess
I want to know more about this, because it's kind of just thrown away as in a line, yeah, she started this whole thing, and then 10 paragraphs later, so then everyone decided that they lost faith in his leadership and led a rebellion. And it's like, but wait, you did this.
Yeah, I mean, it was the quarterly report. I think if he was a very confident, or had been a very confident person who could match the right tone and people liked him, I think he could have lasted a little longer for sure. I think you can have a terrible quarter and sort of be like, we're trying things, and and people go, okay, we trust you, but they didn't trust him already. No one liked him. So it just didn't work for those purposes. Let me wrap up the information portion, and we can kind of get into our thoughts. But Iger had a town hall then on this information, and there were some information let out. There's going to be no change to the hiring freeze that Chapek had suggested, which is kind of not surprising. I don't think Iger's been there long enough to make decisions he's got to read stuff. A lot of that was what are you going to do about this? And he's like, I don't know. I just got here. So, there's really no change yet in Imagineering moving to Florida because he's not really had an opportunity to look at it. The Apple rumors are pure speculation. He's not going to sell to Apple. And he had mentioned something like that years and years ago when Steve Jobs was still alive, but that's the world's a completely different place. And then the parks reservation system he's discussing with tomorrow, and they've already been doing there was already work being done on things like aspects of the reservation system and how to do that. So that's kind of been in the works anyway. And then he was very clear that inclusion is important. And I thought it was really funny because a bunch of conservatives came out and they were like, you see, Chapek was too woke, and they cut Chapek because he was too woke, and they brought Iger back. And I'm like, you have any idea who you're talking about? They lost a conservative leader and brought back a guy who almost ran for the Democratic Party as president. What are you talking about? So anyway,
anybody uses woke as a pejorative gets immediately.
We're in
I
a
don't even listen to him anymore.
post-truth, no such thing as one reality. Like they just get to say whatever people like to hear for the 10 seconds that it's coming out of their mouth, and like that's all it takes. Is it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
right.
They just say what makes them feel good.
Yeah.
Their perceptions. Yeah.
I do like what his response to the cast member in the town hall meeting, though. Like they said, asked him directly where he stood, where his stance on was on LGBTQ plus inclusion, and from all accounts, he did not hesitate at all and said one of the core values of our storytelling is inclusion, acceptance, and tolerance, and we can't lose that. We just can't. And so that's the right response. When Chapek was asked the same question 3-4 months ago, he was like, oh, we shouldn't be in politics. I'm like, look at the contrast between those responses. Like that was not a hard question to fuck up, and he did.
Yeah. Thoughts from anybody else?
I think Dave is right in terms of the hesitation that Chapek had. That was like the biggest problem. He constantly had like a very politically correct answer that didn't really have much to say. He like said a whole lot of things, but with nothing. But in terms of like having Iger back, I just wish he would have delayed that town hall for like a month out until he maybe had a bit more to like give us. Maybe he had more answers, or like could like give a little bit more, because him saying that he's never used the reservation system, yeah, like I get that.
Yeah,
like but,
you were the
like,
CEO of the company.
Like I don't know, like I would want you to know what it feels like. Like I would want you to like maybe go through the park having like been a quote unquote guest and like seen what it's really like. But the fact that he like I mean I appreciate the honesty. It just like that doesn't really give me a whole lot of confidence. So I just wish that he would have waited maybe a little bit longer, but I understand having that initial
I think
kind of
he
town
just
hall
needed to
like
get into like, this is in crisis, this is scary and new, and I'm just here like, hey, I'm here, I'm with you, I got your back. Like I don't really know a whole lot of what's going on because I'm out off the scene, but I want to communicate to you all that like I'm on it.
Yeah, but it just like this feels like it's not really much different than the email that he sent out.
No.
Sure.
So it's like it just maybe a little bit more answers would have been nice. But yeah, I mean the hiring freeze. I'm glad that they're not firing people. That was like something that he really pushed for, saying that the people who have their jobs currently, they're going to keep them. They're just not going to be hiring any more people. So that's really nice. I am very interested in the Imagineering move. I wonder what they're going to do with that whole, what is it, like Lake Nona situation?
It's not like they couldn't have more affordable housing if they want. Like there's a lot of things they can do with that place if they wanted to. That's not that, but we keep talking about a need for a museum.
Yes,
I just made one, baby.
Like they really need to do that. But I think overall the most interesting thing that I saw was from Abigail Disney, that article that Dave sent out. Yeah, that was the most interesting thing I think that came up out of all of this. So we'll see. I mean, tell us a little bit about what she said, because I think that's important to the conversation too. Yeah.
I think,
Dave, do you want to take that?
Well, I'll just say the first thing she said is that, don't forget when Iger left, is that he had seen COVID go through China. He was in Shanghai when it happened in January. He knew instinctively where this was headed. And so he sort of bailed. I mean, and I'm not saying that as a criticism of him. I'm just saying that's a fact that he left in a messy way. He did not leave with any secession plan. Chapek was obviously a rushed choice.
I mean, he cut everybody that could have been his successor. For years, they've been on him to figure that out. Staggs got cut. A bunch of people got cut. All these people, they were like, well, he's next. And then he would go like, goodbye. So because he didn't want to face the music. And you're right. Like, I think he kind of saw in time of like, if I don't leave now, I am going to end on a low note. So take this sucker and go.
It's just very shady. Like I think that really just puts like, I mean, I get it. Like at the end of the day, it's rough, like it's Game of Thrones up there. But like to put Chapek as like this, I don't know, like sacrificial lamb for everybody to kind of just like get at for the next 3 years and then be like, I'm coming back to save the day. Everybody be happy that I'm
I
here.
think you see that a lot in a lot of corporate environments
Yeah.
where they will have like
Yeah.
wartime CEOs that come in and just like take the heat for a
Yeah.
while and then bounce.
Well, and there was some interesting reporting done by Kim Masters over at the Hollywood Reporter. She was on Today Explained by Vox, their podcast, and she was talking about how it's pretty normal for former CEOs to come back and be the CEO again. The rates of success are less so when you bring on a founder, if a founder comes back. But we don't got to worry about that. Walt's head is the only thing left in a freezer somewhere. So
give it like 20 more years.
Yeah, we'll get
come
there.
back.
But because of that, it's Best Buy has done this. Starbucks has done it. Starbucks' founder has been back like 3 times. There's been a lot of these things. You would think it's like you think it was like oh gosh, like coming back, like it's actually pretty normal.
I mean, it's because it's so soon. Like it just feels really sudden. Like
yeah,
I feel like if they would have given him another quarter, maybe he would have got his bearings or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about Bob Chapek. I don't want him to be good at his job. He sucked.
I know,
he was a bad person.
I want somebody new. Like I want someone that will take the company in a different direction. And I don't know. Like
you were getting that.
In a bad way.
But that's that was kind of one of Abigail Disney's points. It's like, let's not forget that Iger is a ruthless businessman as well. He was a better in a lot of ways than Chapek in terms of public relations and the cardigan daddy aspect, and did make some great strategic changes at the company, but also left a lot of issues. And so she was like, what did she say? I hope he has one foot out the door already. And that's kind of it's kind of to your point, Sarah, that it's like, I want to see somebody else do. I don't dislike Iger, but anybody who's lionizing him as like this savior needs to put their head on correctly and say,
exactly.
This is a business.
Well, wasn't there reporting out there somewhere that he was only coming for like 2 years and was coming in part to groom a successor?
Yes.
So
but I wonder who that is. So I mean, I just feel like it's weird that people idolize him so much. I've always found that to be very strange. We can all have our fun on Twitter and be like, oh my God, I'm glad that he's like, the jokes and the memes or whatever. But like, let's not idolize this man. Like he is still very rich, does not care about us.
And answering to the shareholders. It's like you got to balance the things he did well, which was he'd creative relations, artist relations. He was great at, cardigan daddy, sort of public facing warmth and care for the core, what he calls the core product, which is storytelling. Like all that's true. There's not a lot of cynicism that comes out of him. Whereas with Chapek, you felt it felt like his attitude about storytelling and the roots of the company were all very cynical and very mired in much more cut and dry way,
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where he ends up doing. I think some Matt Bellany over at his podcast and over, oh gosh, I'm just totally blanking on his podcast all of a sudden, which is an absolute shame. It's a great podcast, which is called The Town. He was discussing how he thinks Iger will be here for 3 opposed to 2. I can see that happening. I think it's going to take 6 months just to get his feet on the ground, but he's moving really fast. He's already disbanded the organization that Daniels was running. Daniels is out. I mean, he's basically going back to creatives and saying, okay, you're in control again, which makes a lot of sense because we're going to be talking about some stuff in a little bit here that doesn't really showcase great marketing and I don't know, energy for the company. So we'll talk about those films and some other stuff coming up. So moving from drama at the corporate level, normally we start with theme parks, but I wanted to get the drama out of the way. So we're going to go back to the theme parks and talk a little bit about, I guess an assistant that's helping people in their rooms. kind of,
Yeah.
sort of. Sarah, do you want to tell me? Hey, Sarah, do you want to tell me about Hey Disney?
Yeah, so now so the Amazon voice assistant is going to be coming to a Disney hotel near you, or not near you. The first hotel will be the Polynesian Village, not near me. The
Near me.
Polynesian near
So
you.
you were right, near you.
Yeah,
which
near
is me
you.
and Janine. So
Yeah. Unless I don't know if you guys are going to go to the Polynesian and yell "Hey Disney," but
I'm gonna go to every door and scream "Hey Disney" just to see what happens.
You know what? I wonder if you have a really loud like neighbor. If they yell theirs, will it activate yours as well? I hope not.
Yeah, I have Google Assistant, but I have it in too many areas of my house, and so every time I do it, like 4 of them bleep at me, and then they're like, "Which one did you want to talk to?" And I was like, "I don't care, just turn on my light." So who knows? Who knows how?
I have a friend. Whenever he walks in my house, he always adds something to my Amazon shopping list. Like,
oh my gosh!
Yeah. So I want to do that. I want to walk down the hallway and go, "Hey Disney, order Dom Perignon for every room on my bill." You know?
Oh my gosh, on their bill, not on your bill. Yeah. So like you can say "Hey Disney" in your hotel room, and your little Amazon device will answer your questions. I'm sure it'll answer questions about like the weather, or like, I don't know, maybe does it answer questions about like theme park wait times?
It does. So their example shows like, "Hey Disney, when are the fireworks?" And it'll tell you when the fireworks are.
Yeah. So there you go. If you wanted them to be listening into your room, you have it. So...
And now it is off when you enter. So
that's cool. You have to enable it.
You have to enable it. But I know many people who are going to just unplug it. I think this thing is a piece of donkey dick. I hate it so much. It
looks outdated.
For I
think it's for some Amazon salesman who's like the cousin of some purchasing 100%. Agent.
Yes. Because I mean, it's everybody knows what an Alexa does. This is just reskinned to fit the hotel room and the experience there. But it just seems like I can do this on my phone.
Well, it answers to Alexa as well. So it's not even like pretending.
And can I just say the thing that I hate the most, and I don't know why this bugs me, but in the pictures that they show, there's one that has mouse ears on it, but blue pants like Donald.
Oh, the 50th. It's supposed to be the 50th suit.
No, come on. That's
I don't like it.
You know the 50th that we all remember and loved so very much? The great celebration that we all had.
Isn't it over?
I mean, it is now. Chapek got kicked out.
So why are they just...
That was the grand finale. It was great.
I'll take it, honestly.
We had the 50th and Christ returned at the end. Like, what more could you ask for?
Oh God. I don't even use the ones I have here. Like I literally just ask her. I'm not gonna say her name. Like I really just ask her for the time. Like I don't. What am I gonna do with this?
I use her to set cooking timers.
Yeah.
We have it connected to the Hue, so we can turn on and off lights and stuff. That's it.
Yep.
But even then, she's so dumb. Like she doesn't even like half the time. You gotta like tell her 3 times to do something,
or just like shut the fuck up.
Literally,
like, she'll just keep going and going and going, and it's like she misheard you. I don't use one. Des has one in his room. He'll play games on it, which is a thing.
Oh, I didn't even know you could play games on it.
That's all it's good for, as far as I can tell. I can't stand them. I think they're dumb.
I just think it's a waste of money. I would have rather them like do something else. Put something else that's cool in the room. I don't know.
I don't think this cost Disney a dime. This is totally an Amazon thing. Like But I don't like those two companies working together. Like it doesn't make me feel
it's too
good.
much. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I just feel like this is a way to collect more information, and I just 100%. Don't like that. Like it's weird. But yeah,
don't worry. These are gonna break, and kids are gonna knock them over.
Oh yeah.
And parents are gonna call, not parents, like grandparents are gonna call down and be like, I don't know how do I buy a ticket on this thing? And then like it's gonna be gone. And
it's gonna be a mess. Yeah. It's not worth it.
Just keep the in-room resort channel. That's all I want. The stupid resort channel.
Yeah.
Like I watch those videos on YouTube more than I watch other theme park content, like the old ones. I love the old 80s and 90s ones that used to play in the rooms. Those make me so deliriously happy.
When I was making
those back.
Yeah, when I was making my music playlist, I added the newest music loop into that because I was like, I mean, it's quintessential Disney for a lot of people. Is like that is the soundtrack of your hotel room for the entire stay.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and it's really important. And I don't think I don't think this is gonna take away from that. It's so stupid. You can get towels, which is a new thing. Did you know you can ask a device and it will give you towels? It's almost like a telephone to the front desk.
Well, people
and-
don't want to talk to people anymore. So it's like, maybe why not just ask her to give you
It's not that
towels?
people don't want to talk to people. It's that they don't want to have to staff someone.
Yeah,
That too.
100%.
Yeah.
But
Ooh,
still,
true.
someone's got it. But still, someone's got to go get the towels. It's not like
Yeah.
that changes. I don't mind. And look, I don't mind if you want a device that you click, I need more towels. Like, but you have to tell it. Like, if there was a little button that said, I need more towels, and you click it and says, are you sure? And you go, yeah. And then it like dings.
I would rather that.
Amazon
maintenance.
Dash has you covered.
Remember the buttons? Yeah. The
Oh my
weird
gosh.
thing is, like, I've been to Citizen M hotels, which I am obsessed with Citizen M now. They are these little micro rooms. The shower is in the room with the bedroom, but everything is controlled by an iPad. The TV, the lights, the LEDs. You can
I've
change
never
the
heard of
color.
that.
Me neither.
Oh, I'm obsessed because they're fairly cheap and they're in all the big cities. And the thing is you can do anything in the room. You know,
Oh my God,
like
there's one
the
in
whole
LA.
room is controlled. Yeah, it's great. The thing is, these don't even do that. You can't control lights with this thing. You can't turn channels or do volume differences or anything. You know, there's no real smart home concept to this. It's literally just to gain information and get towels. Like, I don't know the point for this.
The fact that you
wait, so it actually doesn't tie to like the room lights?
No.
yeah, that's so
Not
stupid.
at all. It's pointless.
That's so dumb. That's
That
pointless.
would have cost too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So enjoy this. You can enjoy this in your room, and then take your talking Mickey out, and if you remember that, and have it tell you things. You remember when they had the talking Mickey doll that you could take places, and it would.
That's
No.
creepy.
Was that a fever dream, Nathan?
No, it was a doll, and it didn't like move its mouth or anything, but it would tell you little stories if you like.
I
Got
still
It
close
have
had
by
like
mine.
sensor.
proximity sensors.
Yeah.
Oh no! It was My Pal Mickey was this whole infrastructure of infrared throughout the parks,
Mhm.
and they had it for a while where you could rent it if you didn't want to pay the $40-$50 or whatever it was. And I bought one because I'm a nerd, and it would vibrate and go ha ha, and that was like your alert. And then you would squeeze his hand or squeeze his belly, and he would tell you little trivia things about the park, and they would play little games, and or tell you he would give suggestions like, hey, the such and such parade is starting in 10 minutes or whatever. It was actually kind of interesting in a pre-mobile phone era. It was
Yeah,
kind of
I was
interesting.
this is like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
2003, 2004.
one of my favorite things about it was when you took him on the Haunted Mansion, when you got to like the where the ghosts appear in the ballroom scene, he would buzz and go, oh pal, I'm a little scared, can you hold me a little tighter? Basically, like
What?
Mickey would get scared.
Aw.
Mickey would get scared and want to hold hands with you, and he did that on a couple of attractions that were like, he would comment on it. And what I remember most is when I came back from my vacation, I went and squeezed him because you could play like games with him at home, and he was like, remember that time we rode the Haunted Mansion, pal? Like,
Oh my
it
God.
would remember. Yeah, it was a little creepy because then it was like, is this going to be Talkie Tina and like come to life and murder me? Or but to be honest, it was like a kid's pager.
That's
Yeah.
what we wanted
Or-
the Magic Band Plus to be. If it was like
Mhm.
that would have been cool.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny is I have a lot in common with that Mickey, because when things vibrate, I also go, aha. So that's fun.
Oh my God.
Gross.
Let's see here. Moving on.
How do you
we
move on
have,
from that?
Okay. We're going less aha and going more with current stuff going on between Disney, of course, and their largest union, I believe, 40,000 members of that are cast members are part of a union that I've not heard any breaking news yet. Today is the last day that the STCU is in negotiations with Disney about pricing and things like that. Yeah, Sarah, can you tell us a little bit more about what the STCU is up to and what they're hoping?
Yeah, so the SCCU and Disney have been kind of going back and forth since August over higher wages and just like other benefits in general. Negotiations have like failed multiple times. But the STC basically has like made it super clear that they want $18 an hour right now, with a track to 20,000, not 20,000, $20 an hour. And Disney's saying that they are willing to do $20 an hour, but at a slower timeline over 5 years, $1 per year. And this isn't new. We've seen Disney kind of go at it with unions all year over this $20 an hour raise. They had the issue here in California, and they settled, I believe, at about like $18 an hour with a track to 20 in about 5 years as well. So this is kind of like an ongoing issue, and Disney basically released a statement, which is kind of rare. I've never really seen Disney release a statement in terms of a union. And they said, we have prepared a strong and meaningful offer that far outpaces Florida's minimum wage by at least $5 an hour. And
congrats, you're better than Florida. Good job with that.
Yeah, I was like, how much is Florida's minimum wage? I don't really know. But they're saying that they want to increase wages by $5 immediately to bus drivers, housekeepers, and culinary, which would be great. But they want to offer a path for other full-time and non-tipped STCU roles. So that's kind of where they're at. We're hoping to see that cast members can get $20 an hour. I absolutely think that they deserve more than $20 an hour with all the shit that they deal with. But this is very interesting because Disney's kind of been having a really awful quarter. And the hiring freezes are not helping either. But I think if you're going to have a hiring freeze, you need to keep your current staff. And the only way to keep them is to raise wages. So I hope that the union is persistent, and they seem to be, especially with the current inflation and the recession kind of coming in really strong for the next year. They definitely need it. So
yeah, and we'll see how the switch between Chapek and Iger could affect this as well. That's an interesting little wrinkle, and it could be interesting. For those who don't know, the STCU stands for the Service Trades Council Union. So, and they pretty much represent everyone. Sorry, you asked about Florida minimum wage. I looked it up. It is $3, one baby gator, and some boiled peanuts.
That seems about right.
Minimum wage here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my house is just chock full of gators and
no, but like, what is it really like?
Right now, it's $11 an hour.
11.
Yeah,
next year,
for sure.
Next year, there's a dollar increase over the next number of years. So I think we'll get to $15 an hour in like 2025 or something like that. Yeah. 2026.
Yeah, by 2025, everyone will be making 3 DeSantis bucks here in Florida, as the wall between Florida and the rest
2025.
of America.
I mean, he'll be either having run for president and
emperor of New China. So let's see here. That's yeah. So God bless you, STCU. We of course have worker solidarity with you, and we hope the best for you, and eat the rich. Dave, let's talk a little bit about film and TV. Let's start with, of course, actually film and TV we've not watched. So let's talk a little bit.
Yeah, the big one that everyone is calling a swing and a miss, but I'm not sure if that's exactly true, is Strange World. None of us saw it, and the talk online is like, it didn't do great in theaters. But
we're looking at exactly what happened? We're looking at 100 million plus loss currently.
But isn't this exactly what happened in Encanto? Like Encanto opened kind of weak in theaters too, and then blew up on Disney Plus.
But Encanto has COVID to blame, and really. You don't have that here.
Especially with like the way that Black Panther 2 opened up. It's just people, I feel like the marketing was just bad. Like it wasn't marketed well at all. Like I remember just seeing that one trailer and then maybe a billboard here and there, but that's it. Like no one really talked about it.
I remember the first teaser trailer really, really capturing my attention because it seemed like old 50s B movies. And then after that, none of the characters or the storyline were clear enough in the trailers to grab me. I mean, I'm going to see it. It didn't rise to the top of my list.
Yeah, it ended up feeling more conventionally Disney. Like the teaser was very much a unique thing, and then it got kind of like, and then here's a guy, and here's a son, and they have a dad, and this dad is the grandpa, and the grandpa is like estranged, and I was like, oh yeah, I have definitely not seen that in a Disney movie before.
Isn't the main character canonically non-binary too? That's another thing I think I read somewhere.
I don't think it's the main character.
No, the son is gay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And there's, I think they do more than just kind of hint. I think he flirts with the boy, and there's some stuff like that.
It's clear.
Well, there's the problem. It's too woke. That's why I didn't make it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm reading Google reviews right now because I Googled Strange World and it popped up with reviews, and there's like only 1-star reviews. Really? And I'm reading the 1-star, like there's like maybe a good 15% that are 5-star, and then like 3 scattered between 2, 3, and 4 stars, and then all 1-star reviews. And I went to go read the 1-star reviews, and they're like propaganda, too woke, LGBT,
they never even saw
indoctrination.
it. They never even saw it.
Oh, it's Google reviews. Like those are whatever.
They never even saw it.
Yeah, they didn't see it.
That's a Russian bot.
But someone said something on Twitter that I thought was kind of funny. And they said, how many times is Disney going to say, this is our first gay character?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like okay, how many times are y'all going to say that? And it's like, can we get an actual one that we don't have to guess about? Like one that is not...
In my head canon, that's Oaken from the first Frozen. So
yeah,
for sure.
I wonder why, Dave.
I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Wasn't it confirmed in the second movie that he has like a husband?
Sort of, yeah. Like they
again,
kind of.
Like see, like we don't want to guess. We want to like just there. Yeah, like we're tired of the queer baiting. But I mean, Victoria. I don't want to speak for Victoria because she's not here, but she saw it, and I saw that she tweeted and said that it was great. So.
Yeah, I've heard that it's weird because it should have went to Disney Plus, is what a lot of people said. They said it's fine, but it's just not. You know,
it looks beautiful. It looks like a beautiful movie.
I felt so too.
The design looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a weird time, and this is another reason that Chapek's leaving, because Chapek was trying to strip the studios and the studio heads of deciding how to market these kind of things. And you have Strange World that comes out and everyone's lukewarm about it, and you put Disenchanted on Disney Plus on a Wednesday or whatever, when that movie could have easily made $12+ million just kind of sliding around doing its thing over Thanksgiving. That movie was a perfect Thanksgiving movie.
It really was.
And it would have counteracted. You don't have a Black Panther, which, as much as we want to, not act like it's a boys movie, because it's not, but at the same time, like, boys are going to go see a Marvel movie, right? Boys aren't interested in going to see Strange World because they got to go see Black Panther, and there's not a lot in Strange World that sort of leans on the traditional kind of girl tropes. Again, I think those are all BS tropes anyways, but they're marketed for reasons.
Okay, so I have a 10-year-old, not 10. We have 2 weeks, a 9-year-old. So like, prime target audience for this. I'm sure he's seen the advertisements. He's not going to see Black Panther. He's not a Marvel kid, but he has no interest in seeing this. I don't know what it is. It's just not speaking. Speaking.
Well,
but if you're the parents and you've got to decide on one and you have both, you're going to decide on going to see Black Panther probably.
Yeah.
I don't take my kid to see Marvel movies. That's PG-13.
Well, you're the unique one.
Like that's weird to me that people take small children to go see Marvel movies. I don't think
a lot of people take their kids. It's
I know.
Yeah,
I just,
like the theaters are filled.
No,
yeah.
I abide by ratings.
Well, I think this is, I worry about movies like this when they bomb, because it's like, I do, even though the story isn't necessarily that unique, the look of the movie is unique. And it's like, I hope that this kind of goes into the conversation of like superhero movies that was being had over Twitter, over the past couple of weeks with Quentin Tarantino and Scorsese, and like and I think what's his name? I can't believe. Oh, Shang-Chi. What was his name? Simu Liu? Yeah.
Mhm.
Stimulate,
like
right.
what he was saying about Marvel movies, and I think it kind of sucks because it's like I definitely see both sides in that argument, and I think that this is a really good example of how movies that are kind of a little bit that are not necessarily Marvel movies, that are not big blockbuster movies, that are good. They're just not being marketed in the way that they should be, so that they could be hitting the right audience, so that they can make those superhero Marvel money.
Yeah. But it is
So
a Disney tradition that goes back decades now to have sci-fi flops. Disney, talk to Black Hole, talk to Treasure Planet, talk to John Carter.
Talk to Tron.
Talk to Tron.
and they're all good.
They love to make sci-fi box office bombs. That's like the one thing Disney has never been able to crack. They so couldn't crack it. They had to spend millions of dollars to buy Star Wars. So there you go.
I just hope we get some more Disney originals.
I agree.
And maybe something that's not from the studios that they ended up buying, just something a little bit unique, just something cute. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah.
That doesn't flop.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about something that I would probably categorize as cute, and that was the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I saw it. Who else saw it here on this panel?
I saw a thing.
Wow, this is a special day.
This is a first.
Janine,
James
what did you
Gunn
think?
on Twitter like retweeted every single positive review for like a week, and so I was like, "It's good. I have to see it." And he got me. I liked it. I thought cute is the right word for it. It was cute. It was shorter than I thought it would be.
Oh, interesting. I thought it was slightly longer than I thought it would be. So that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was going to be longer. It's probably just.
Is it related at all to the holiday reskin or to the ride?
No, not at all. Not at all. They didn't even put in that effort. It doesn't even have. There's an original song in the special. They didn't even use that for the ride.
Are you kidding me? I thought for sure that was going to be the.
Nope. That would make too much sense.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
what a missed opportunity. That's so weird and discordant.
I mean, that is Disney right now.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought it was very sweet. Dave Bautista is great, and I'm glad that he got to play such a prominent role in it.
Yeah, it's him and Manus. The whole movie.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really just them.
Dave and Manus go to Earth and kidnap Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Okay. And it's worth that. I mean, it very much feels like we can get Batista and Mantis. We're going to be shooting second unit special effects with Chris Pratt. And on those days, we will go do stuff with Manus and Batista. Palm, I can't remember her last name. I just remember first name's Palm. So we're going to go with Palm and Dave. We're going to go film it in Beverly Hills or wherever they filmed it in this like house. And for cheap. And we will animate a little bit of Rocket. I will animate a little bit of Groot. And Chris Pratt's in it more than you would think at the end. At the beginning, you're very much like, oh, he's out. Like he's going to show up for 2 minutes at the beginning and 2 minutes at the end. And he has a little more at the end. But
I don't know how long it takes to shoot something like that. But from having watched it and having no experience, I feel like Dave Pratt was on set for no more than 3 hours.
Chris Pratt, yeah.
Yeah. Did I say Dave Pratt?
You said Dave Pratt. Dave Pratt.
That's so funny because I love Chris Pratt because it makes me think of Crisp Rat.
Chris Pratt. Yeah. Well, Chris Dave Pratt, Bautista. So you probably mixed Dave Bautista.
And I'm looking at Dave. Pratt. And so I've just got a lot of Dave going on. It is probably Dave Bautista too. He lives in Tampa, so I have like a kindred.
Batista does?
Really?
Yeah, he goes to Taco Dirty apparently, like the taco place.
Oh,
what?
I lose my mind to meet
him. That's what I've heard.
He's so cool.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he lives in Tampa.
I wouldn't mess with him.
That makes him my neighbor, and so therefore I have an affinity.
I
with
would.
him.
He could crush my neck with his thighs if he wants. I'm sorry. Was that out loud? Yeah,
I'm sure you loved Glass Onion, by the way, Dave. That's Yeah,
I don't want to
if you
hear
wanna-
anything.
if you
I
want a
haven't
nice,
seen it.
no. I'm just saying, if
Okay.
you like a Batista role, he's wearing very little in Last
Mhm.
Enemy for
saw.
quite a bit of the
Yep.
movie. So
Yep. He's
everyone's
a thirst
happy.
trap through the whole thing. Yeah. That
Yeah.
movie is so freaking great, people.
Yeah,
Do
go
not
see
miss
it.
out on Glass Onion.
Well, it's
I
gone now.
lo-
Uh,
Well,
Huh?
yeah,
Pay
you
for
gotta wait till
Netflix.
the Christmas Eve.
It's
It'll come out
gone?
on Netflix.
So
It's
yeah,
not
it's
on the
gonna-
movie. They
yeah.
put it in movie theaters for 1 week because Ryan Johnson was like, "You got to do this," and they were like, "Okay, we'll do it as a stunt." And then they made like millions of dollars, and they're like, "Nah, we won't do this anymore." And I'm like, "Netflix, you're not going to be around. You're going to get bought by Sony in like 3
Yeah.
years when you keep up
Yeah.
this shit."
I-
So
I read that they were like, we did it to create buzz and drive subscriptions.
yeah,
What?
weird.
It's
Very
a weird
Yeah.
choice. You could have just made more money
Yeah.
if you kept it in the theater.
So that's about all we have to say about the holiday special. That's the thing, is it's a holiday special in that totally disposable way that good holiday specials are. Like, I mean, you go back to them once a year sometimes, and they don't take up a lot of space, and fine, whatever.
Yeah, the songs were pretty good.
Yeah, it's cute.
The original song, I guess. There's one, right? One original song.
There's one original song, and I guess the script was written in like a week, and you're like, I can see
Yeah,
that.
that makes
In a
sense.
week.
Yeah.
That actually is surprisingly long.
Yeah,
like-
it's literally 2 sets.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
like
2 sets.
literally
Wow.
2 sets.
Okay.
One
Two sets in a
street in
street.
LA,
Yep.
a house, and then the like weird
How long is the special?
Guardian space
45
place.
minutes.
Oh,
So it's tight 45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. But what's strange is they didn't end the special with the Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 trailer, which came out today. It seems strange they didn't do that, but if you know anything about trailer creation, who knows? They literally
probably
work
got
on these things
finished
till the
last
last
night.
minute. Yeah, 100%. So we've
But
all
that
had a
trailer's
chance-
fun.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 trailer. It's nice and traumatizing,
It
basically.
is actually really sad. And like
Yeah.
there's footage of Baby Rocket looking all
so
doe-eyed, and
cute.
I'll tell you the thing that made me most excited is, Guardians of the Galaxy means a bunch of cool music choices,
Mhm.
and they've advanced into the 90s on this one. The soundtrack for the trailer is Space Hogs in the Meantime, which is a 1996 number 1 song on the rock charts for those Gen Xers in the crowd. It's a great song, and it's actually kind of sad, and so it's a very interesting tone for a Guardians trailer. It's very different than the other ones.
Yeah, it really is.
It
Just
seemed
slightly different.
very dark and sad. Like this, it does. I did not get the vibe that it's going to be a happy, feel good story at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
the
at the
moral
same-
is there.
But at the same time, that seems to be the trend in a lot of these Marvel trailers. Like legitimately, I get why Black Panther Wakanda Forever had a bummer trailer, but like Ant-Man is like a bummer trailer. Like they're all bummer trailers for some reason. So
The tone's definitely shifting. Like it's not comedic relief anymore.
I mean, I just think about like life in general and the number of passerbys that I meet in my work life who are openly suicidal.
mhm.
It's just like there's just not the market for like pizzazz. It's everyone just wants to die all the time. And so our media that we consume should reflect that, I think.
There's actually a really interesting article that I gotta send you about that because that's it's a real phenomenon. Like it's very
Really?
weird.
Yeah,
yes.
you have to send me that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna send it
Yeah.
to
And on that cheery note,
you.
we're gonna move on to I suppose a lucky rabbit is the best way to put it. He's very lucky. Oswald has finally debuted his newest cartoon after 95 years. So Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, of course, is sort of the, how do we put it, the kind of OG Walt Disney character that was owned by other companies and he couldn't get it back, and that's why he created Mickey. But Oswald got brought back into the company. We actually literally traded Al Michaels for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. If you don't know that story, sportscaster Al Michaels was
That's
given
interesting.
away from ABC Sports so we could own the rights back for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Imagine being traded for a cartoon.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool,
Created-
actually.
That's
Yeah,
why.
that would make me feel
Yeah.
a certain kind of way.
That's why that's right when the Epic Mickey games came out, or right before
Mhm.
it, right? Like that's why. But yeah, it was created for Universal. Oddly enough, he
Mm.
Walt originally created the character for Universal Studios.
But you know what's
wow.
weird? To me, Oswald is DCA's mascot. To me.
Yeah, I think that's what a
Yeah.
lot of people have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
I love Oswald.
Yeah. And I think that's great. It's cute little, it's very short. I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of meh on them making his first cartoon after 95 years be kind of like a cartoon that would have been out 95 years ago.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
I love that practical sort of thing that those old kind of ones would do, where it's like he takes off his ears and uses them as scissors, and like I love that sort of
Yeah.
Steamboat Willie vibe. But you could do that and pump it up and make it a little more modern.
Really?
I mean, did you ever see you saw Get a Horse?
Yeah, I loved Get
Right,
a Horse.
Right, and that
I saw
to
Get a
me,
Horse
that,
at Epcot because they play that in the Magic Eye Theater, and it's incredible.
Yeah,
to
and it's
see
great
that.
in 3D. It's amazing
Yeah.
in 3D. But like, you're right. That's what I wanted out of a new Oswald short. I wanted that line between new and old in a way, and it's, they're very slavish to making it look like it's from the 20s. It's fine. It's a minute long. It's cute. Good. I'm glad they did it, but I'm with you. I kind of wanted something a little more.
The new Mickey shorts, they thread that needle.
Yes,
for
very
me.
well.
And I would like to see Oswald be given life in that same vein, I think.
It would be cool to see him in that, but I actually loved the fact that they stuck with the 20s theme. I thought it was very cool. Like, you don't really, obviously we don't see cartoons like that anymore, so I thought it was nice that his first one back is like kind of nostalgic to that time.
I love that it was actually hand animated.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and keeping that art alive, I think, is really important.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool.
With that.
It'd be really cool. Like, they sort of cast him, at least in the Epic Mickey games. He's not Mickey's, foe, but they're like, two sides of the same coin. What if they did a Halloween overlay for Runaway Railway, and it's like Oswald taking it over?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be cute.
Well, and we don't see this type of vibe anymore. We're going to go a little bit into history here with this a little bit, but that sort of vaudevillian cartoon vibe died out mostly because it's minstrel is what it is. Mickey, of course, wears gloves. That's a minstrel thing. Cuphead, which I love as a video game. It's beautiful. It's in this same look, and it got a little flack because people were like, you can't do a thing where you have a man that's got a head that's dice that talks like Cab Calloway, and but it rules, and it's a very specific style. But it's weird to see that they kind of went back in that, because there's a little bit of, in the animation community, friction on how to deal with that style in general right now. I think it helps he doesn't have gloves and stuff, but
I think that because I don't get that feel because of the gloves. But if he did, I think it would have definitely felt that way. So I think it's an interesting direction, and I can totally see like the discourse there. But I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Let's talk about the only thing I care about this episode, which is Dave. Would you tell us what this is, please?
A magical trailer dropped, and my inner 11-year-old wept, and it is the new Indiana Jones Indy 5 trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And oh my God, I told Nathan earlier before we got on the show, I was like, I watched that trailer today so many times. It was like the Zapruder film. Like, I was watching it frame by frame. Oh God, it made me so happy. I cried. It made me cry.
I got a text. Well, we have a text group, and Janine threw out the link, and I had just got out of faculty meeting, and I was walking to my car, and I immediately was like, oh shit, oh God, and like, I couldn't watch it on my phone. Christ, I can't do that. That can't be the first time I see it. So I like ran to the nearest computer I could find. I couldn't get it to work, so I ran to another building, and I found a computer lab where no one was in it, and I closed every single like blind.
Oh my God!
And,
you truly put all of your respect into this trailer. That's a lot of effort.
I'm never gonna get this again, so I had to really go for it. And I watched it, and I was thrilled. And we're gonna spoil the trailer, so whatever, people, watch it. But the moment Sala shows up, and you hear his voice, but then you don't really see him, and then you see him, and I was like, "Geez, Louise!" Like I got kind of emotional because we didn't see him in Crystal Skull, and Sala for me has always been the heart. And just Phoebe Waller-Bridge is Indy's sidekick, his goddaughter, who as I was telling Dave earlier, my guess is she is Brody's daughter, but we'll find out. And man, I can't ask for more. You have Mads Mikkelsen playing a Nazi. You have de-aged Harrison Ford for the opener.
He looks so good.
He looks really good.
So
incredible.
good.
Toby Jones showing up. You got, I mean, this cast is just, Antonio Banderas is just like, I'm here. And you're like, what the fuck is this? This is incredible.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana Jones, like gallivanting around New York City in the subway on a horse.
Yeah.
The
minute the theme kicks in that sort of slow elegiac sort of delivery, it's overused to say I got chills, but I literally got tingles from my toes up to the top of my head when it happened, and he grabs the hat. Like I was it looked really, really good. It looked like the movie we all want out of a new Indiana Jones film. We talk a lot of shit about Crystal Skull, which it mostly deserves, but I'm just, even then I was just glad to have Indy back on the screen. But this really looks like, how do we take everything that we loved about the original movies and acknowledge Harrison Ford's age and Indy's age and where he would be in history at that age,
right?
And it looks like the story is wrapped up in that as well, which I think will, if it's done right, will have a real emotional wallop to say goodbye to that character.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell why he got emotional during D23.
I've been sitting here thinking about that D23 and wanting to recover his Indiana Jones integrity.
Yeah.
I think, has to be really moving for him. And then Phoebe looks amazing.
She looks great.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Did she write?
No? I don't think so. I don't. Okay. I mean, I think in that way that when you're a writer on set, you make suggestions sometimes.
Okay.
But from everything that I have seen, she did work on, what did she just do work on for them? It was, oh gosh, what did she just do some writing on? I'm looking it up now because I can't. No Time to Die. She was a writer on No Time to Die, which I thought was interesting. But I don't think she has any credit for Indiana Jones.
I'm excited for her to be in this movie because I feel like a lot of times when women get added into like kind of like these action blockbuster movies, they're kind of written in a very frustrating way. And just knowing how she writes like women and how complicated they are, like I'm just really excited to see how her character will be in this film. So
yeah. She looks amazing, and
she looks amazing. I'm sure she'll be amazing.
The script was written by, let's see, it's one of these. It's like 4 people for characters. Well, James Mangold is directing, not Spielberg, but I trust him greatly. James Mangold directed Logan, and Walk the Line and Ford v Ferrari. Like he has a pedigree. He's very good. So I trust him with it. He did Greatest Showman, but we don't have to talk about that. He executive produced.
That was a good movie.
Sure. Let's say that.
Anything with Zendaya is 10 out of 10.
Okay. Let's see. The writer did Get On Up and Edge of Tomorrow and Black Mass and Spectre and Ford v Ferrari. Like that's pretty good. I love Edge of Tomorrow.
I don't think I've even heard of most of those movies.
Edge of Tomorrow is one of Tom Cruise's best films of all time. It's incredible.
Ford v Ferrari.
It's so underrated, that movie. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, for real. It is. It got screwed by its stupid title, right? Edge of Tomorrow is it's a horrible title. It sounds really bland. And then they gave it a new title or a subtitle, right? Nathan, it was
Live Die Repeat.
Live Die Repeat, which
was the original title, and then if you look at the DVD art, it's like the entire DVD art says Live Die Repeat, and it says Edge of Tomorrow really small underneath. Like they're trying to hide what the original title was.
It is. I saw that 3 times in the theater. It is so good. Yeah. It is so good, and everybody sleeps on it thinking, it's Tom Cruise, it's just another sci-fi movie. But it is so great and so smart.
Yeah, and if you're not already bisexual, seeing Emily Blunt in that movie will do it for you. For sure. Because
yes,
agreed. Jeez Louise. Anyway, so that's our segment called talking about Edge of Tomorrow. But no, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. I'm already, as I was telling Dave earlier, I'm cracking out Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis on my computer, and I'm in it. I'm so ready for the merch to drop. I remember when Crystal Skull merch dropped, and I was just like, gimme like Monopoly, and like I just am so excited. Give me whatever you want to give me, and I will buy it.
Do you think that maybe they'll give some love to the ride?
They shouldn't touch the ride.
The ride needs to be touched.
Well, the ride needs work. It needs maintenance.
It needs work.
But it's a beautiful ride. I don't think it needs anything. But here's the only thing I want from updated on that ride, which is, hey Harrison, can we have you for 30 seconds? And he just does the lines for the ride.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, having grown up with that park, most of the effects don't work.
Yeah.
Like there's so
True.
much in that ride that is broken. It just really needs an overhaul.
That's the issue. The first time I went on it, it was like a formative experience for me. I was maybe like 14 or something like that. And that is actually my first ride where I was really like, whoa, this is blowing my mind right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went on it again, and I brought my boyfriend and my son, and I was like, we're going to wait in line. We're going to go on Indiana Jones. It's the best ride. And then like nothing happened. Like so many things were broken. I don't remember. I kind of crossed some wires with the Mummy ride, and that, like, I remember, is there a scene with like cockroaches? There's supposed to be like
that's
bugs.
the Mummy.
That is the Mummy. Okay, so
wait, but doesn't Indy also has one?
Doesn't it have?
But they don't touch you.
No, Indy had the bugs on the wall that the
Bugs
headlights
reveal.
Yeah,
Yes.
on the wall.
Okay, and that wasn't working, and I like bugs. So
the last time I was on there, I was stuck for like 20 minutes.
The snake hasn't worked in a long time. You know, they turned off the room of the chamber of destiny a long time ago.
Yeah, the shifting panel. Yeah.
Where the big pie slice, that would move.
Yeah. I mean, the rubble hasn't fallen since like, I don't know, but 6 months after it opened or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many effects that are broken.
It's an intricate ride. I think that's the thing. That's the trouble. I kind of am nervous about doing a Disneyland trip, only because, like, I have to have that ride working. Like, it's totally not. The whole trip's not worth it.
It'll work.
Isn't working. Yeah. But like, I'm waiting for a refurb and then to come back after a refurb or something.
Yeah.
And I think they will. I think that they'll put a little marketing budget behind that, hopefully, and they'll do a little something.
So it deserves it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they. I don't know. I kind of feel it's time for a new stunt scene in the stunt show as well. You know, it doesn't have to be the finished one or whatever, but it's all Raiders stuff basically. It's always just been Raiders stuff, and there's been a lot of discussion that they were going to really revamp the show, but it hasn't happened. So we'll see.
I think it does need to be revamped. I have a friend who was for many years the manager of the clothing shop in Hollywood Studios, and she said that a huge portion of her job was replacing the pants of small children who could not contain themselves when the explosion happens in that show. Multiple times a day.
In what?
In the stunt show.
Wait, what show?
The Indiana Jones stunt show here at Hollywood Studios. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what I want. I want kids pissing themselves. That's exactly
like there's more of that.
Closer fire. Whatever you got to do. No, but for real though, I just think it's time for some updates.
No. She told me that story like 10 years ago. So, it's like, and it still hasn't changed. Like, it's just been the same show for way, way, way too long.
Yeah, for sure. Let's finish out with a little bit of Universal news. I think we're all getting excited because Janine,
Yes.
where are we
Yes.
about to escape to or escape
We-
from?
Oh, yeah. Well, you have your pick. You can go to the future or you can go back to the Jurassic. So Universal Studios, I love this. They came out with their opening escape rooms. You have two options. You can choose the Back to the Future themed escape room or the Jurassic World themed escape room. Really exciting news. They've got Christopher Lloyd coming in and doing the scenes for the Back to the Future room. So this is really
Yeah.
cool.
If it's connected at all to the Institute of Technology, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
that
Me
would be
too.
so
You and me
great.
both.
Yeah.
It would be so great. Looking at pictures, it looks, I mean, if you've ever been to a tribute store, they took like that spirit of like really bringing something intentional and really setting up a fantastic set. It looks beautiful. It's very expensive, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Is $50
I mean,
expensive though?
That's
I mean,
to start.
That's for if you go in solo and want to be put in groups of people you don't know.
And to
So-
start,
Ah.
2 tickets on a Saturday
yeah.
is like $150.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
it's about 25-30% more what most escape rooms are. But come on, first of all, it's those two brands. Universal is not going to do
Yes.
them cheap, and they've done from at least in the press release. What impressed me the most is they said that the puzzles and solutions are all randomized, so they've got a lot of digital back end technology they've developed to make this not a one and done thing.
That's amazing.
And that it's also scalable in terms of difficulty level depending on the group and how many people you have.
Yeah.
So I just think they're holding back on photos because I think there's going to be some whoa, this is worth $50 effects and things happening in this. I don't think they've skimped on this at all.
It
No,
looks
I don't think so.
incredible. Like they have only pictures of the Jurassic World themed
Yeah.
room and it looks fantastic. I cannot wait. I am in the process of buying tickets to take my brother for his birthday when he comes down next month. We are going. We're dropping. I'm dropping that $150. We'll have to report once we.
My bet is that
so excited.
I bet one of the Back to the Future rooms is Doc's lab with the giant speaker in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I bet.
From the first movie.
I hope they find a way to let you like transition from like time periods between rooms. I think that'd be cool too.
Hey,
So.
there's nothing saying they're not going to get in a DeLorean and have a little mini simulator experience. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I have a question for you guys.
Mhm.
Do escape rooms typically have more than one room? I've never done an escape room, so
Neither have I.
So they
God.
what?
I've never
I
done one
just-
either.
I determined
Okay.
I needed a good one that I cared about. And then I've just decided that I would like to start with the best possible version of this, so I hate any other ones that I do from now on.
That is a good plan because there's a lot of really shitty escape rooms out there.
Yeah,
that's been
two
my
of my
worry.
favorite ones. Two of my favorite ones in the world are here in LA. Sorry, I'll have to tell you which ones
Please.
later.
Mhm.
But
I'm going to LA in June.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a couple. They normally like one escape room location, like a company or a venue, will probably have multiple rooms in it. Not usually multiples of the same room though. Like they're not doing it for capacity. They have differences for group size and theme and difficulty level. This is a little different in that I actually think there are 2 or 3 versions of the exact same pathway. I think I don't know that for sure.
It would be my guess
for-
is you're correct. Yeah.
That would
for
make
capacity
sense.
reasons.
That would make a lot of sense. So in a typical escape room experience, you go into one box room and mess around and try to get out? Or are there like doors that
depends.
go into other rooms and like
The more complex ones are multi-room, multi-step, and reveal themselves as you go.
That's cool.
The really cheap ones are you're in one room and a bunch of the puzzles are pencil and paper, and and it's not that interesting.
Okay.
But this does not seem to be that. Like
I mean, I see a door that goes into another room in the Jurassic World one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think they said like what was it like up? It's somewhere between 5 and 8 rooms per experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, really? Where are you
Yeah.
guys seeing this? I'm not seeing that information.
I can't remember. Twitter. I don't remember. No,
Wow.
I'm not saying it's.
That's amazing.
The
Um,
theme is like really interesting. Like I'm very excited to
Mhm.
see what that would look like, or like what would you be escaping from?
I can tell
Um,
you the Jurassic World one is there's a dinosaur that's escaped and you're in a genetics lab and
That
you
makes
have
sense.
to figure out what you're gonna do with that situation.
That makes sense. I'm gonna bet
Yeah.
you, they got another one of those Raptor animatronics laying around somewhere.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Who knows? But the other thing to note here is if you have a group of 8. So I'm probably going to be doing this at the earliest of January, which is a little bit like we're determining the day. But we have a group of 8, and when you have a group of 8, it's just $300. So really that comes to like $38.50 per person or $37.50 per person, which is not as bad really.
For
And then
90
you're
minutes, I think that's a really good deal.
yeah, and you're
Yeah.
guaranteed like it's your friends. Like you're not guaranteed. Like my biggest issue is I'm not willing to throw that kind of money, especially more than to spend $50 on basically Smuggler's Run. To just be like, okay, okay, and then it's just like me and a bunch of like teenagers, and I'm like, shit, this sucks. So
It's gonna be you and the family from Denver.
yeah, me and that family from Denver.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it looks a lot of fun, and I think it's a pretty reasonable price for what it is,
You get
especially if you're
parking included.
I didn't know that. That's great. And then you
Yeah.
can also go as AP and walk up to the door, and as long as you're not doing a group of 8, if you're just like joining a party, you get 15% off.
But
It's not bad if you just want to do it and you don't have friends.
I feel like it's a good I feel like it's a good value. Like I mean I was expecting it to be way more. I think like $50 is not bad. 150 is crazy. But for like a once in a while experience and a unique
Yeah.
experience that you won't get
Yeah.
anywhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
trying to
think it's
remember how
worth it.
much the void was.
The
Here
void
at
was like
Disney
around
Spring.
I remember paying 30 for the one in California.
That
And that
sounds
was
about
super
right.
cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I luckily got to go for press, so I never paid. But
Oh.
yeah, and the cool part about that was they're like, we did the Wreck-It. I paid for the Star Wars one, and
I
then,
did the Marvel one. That one was
I didn't
sick.
get it. They didn't have it here.
Oh, okay.
It was just all they ever had here was Star Wars and Wreck-It Ralph 2, and so we went for the Wreck-It Ralph 2 one, and then we were done. And they're like, "Do you just want to do the Star Wars one?" And we're like, yeah."
Yeah. I did
They were fun.
they had a Ghostbusters one in New York. I did.
Ooh, that's fun.
too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did anyone else get to do the Star Wars one?
Yeah, I did.
What really got me, I was very used to it. I didn't have any issue. But I remember there was a railing at one point, and I leaned down to place my gun on the railing, and there was actually a railing there, and I was like, that kind of was my moment where I was like, oh, this is, oh boy. And then I also touched at the end. There's a droid in the room with you when you leave, and I touched the droid. And
I thought it was gonna be
droid's
like a
actually here.
joke and not that good, but it was actually really good.
No, it was
It's
Like
pretty
you
great,
feel
yeah.
like you're in it. Like it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it through COVID here at Disney Springs, but yeah.
No.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But at
Rest
least we
in
have the
peace.
escape rooms to look forward
It's a
to.
Pele store now over here.
Oh, is
Or
it
a Love
really?
Pop. I think it's like a Love Pop and a Pele soccer store.
Oh.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice, Sarah, if there were less Pele stores and things like that? And in fact, these places were used for, I don't know. It's almost like I have a place at Disney Springs that once had some form of an NBA experience, but no more. And now it's just a empty room experience. It would be really cool if instead of that, it was, I don't know, Disney, an escape room, perhaps. So to end today, we are going to talk a little bit about our ideas for Disney-themed escape rooms that we think Disney should do. Who would like to start? Who's got
I have
one?
2.
Dave has 2. I have 2. Anybody else?
I have two.
I have
2.
one.
Oh, Janine's got 1. Well, we'll start with Janine. And
I'm
then we'll
all
go from there.
in on a Tower of Terror escape room.
I was
think-
gonna say
Oh,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I went first then because I didn't have a backup. I just the glitz and the glamour. I love the story. I think that there's so much mystery that can be solved and so much story that you can expand on. And I love the idea of getting the Rod Serling voice impersonator back. And I just
So
feel
would
like
he.
yeah. There's just so much you could do with that. And I love the vibe of like being in a creepy old derelict hotel.
Mhm.
I think it's the perfect escape.
And
room.
everybody coming in dressed like as if they were going to Dapper Day. Would be
Yes.
super
Yeah.
Oh
cool.
my
That'd be
god,
rad.
I would love
Yeah.
that. Yes. Yeah, I would love that. I that's in my deep dream fantasy now.
Very, very cool. Sarah, what do you got now that you only have one?
I was gonna say Pleasure Island from like Pinocchio. I feel like something like that would be kind of interesting.
Oh,
Kind of
that
like
would
a
be
creepy circus
genuinely
vibe.
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that would be interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an hour or you're turned into a donkey.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Well, anytime
Yeah.
you don't complete an escape room, you're a jackass. So
It's like
exactly.
that movie's like The Purge, but Disney.
Yeah.
Basically,
It really
what
is.
that
that
is.
So
part is for
creepy.
sure.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Dave, what do you have?
So I have two. The first one's just duh because Dave. Would be Haunted Mansion, and my idea was you find yourself trapped in the attic of the Haunted Mansion, and you and so you have to dig through all of the stuff and the boxes and things up there.
Yeah.
And occasionally ghosts come in and help you out, but
Like
you
the
have to
ghost
get
of
out.
the husband's past.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
right.
like you're
Right,
solving
right,
their
right.
murder.
Yes, I think
Yeah, right.
that would be so
Right.
good.
It's basically the attic scene, but as an escape room. And then the other one I thought would be, what if you were in Casita from Encanto?
Ooh, I like having a
And-
more family friendly one.
Yeah, and not spooky. And what it is like, who was the little boy that talked to
Antonio?
animals? Antonio. So Antonio is playing hide and seek in the house. And you have to find him, and you have to go from one of the siblings' rooms to another
That's
And
so
talk-
cool.
and talk to the house. And a bunch of the puzzles could be musical.
Mhm.
You know, it would be. I just want Casita to sort of help me out. Like the help system is literally the house. You
Oh,
know,
that's fine.
That's cool.
That would be good.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got a professional here. You can see it.
Copyrighted already by
You got a
Dave.
ringer. Yeah.
Dave, I'm surprised you didn't say it. I was worried I would beat you on this one, but of course, my first one is Indiana Jones.
Of course.
I think that's an easy, obvious.
Yeah.
Lord knows there's been plenty of escape rooms that have tried to basically do Indiana Jones. Anyway, but an official Indiana Jones one. Maybe you start in his office with all the eclectic stuff, and then you go from there to a temple or whatever. It could be a lot of fun.
Right. Right. Yeah.
My second one's a little more unique. I would really love a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids escape room. I really would love if you get shrunk down and you have to deal with big objects and solve how to get
That
the
would be
shrink away to
good.
work again.
That would be good.
Yeah.
It's a new, different type of thought processes that you'd have to
Yeah.
go into, which is
Yeah.
good.
And they could
operating
switch
on
it
that
out with
scale.
Toy Story some
Well,
days.
yeah, you got the big props already.
Yeah,
so
you already got the
Yeah.
props.
you're good to go.
I would love to know what suggestions our listeners have.
Yes.
I bet that they have some really good stories that we could imagine in escape rooms. I would love to hear those. If you have them, submit them. I want to
Well,
know.
Disney,
Yes.
if you would like to take our ideas, you have our email. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
where to
for-
send the invoice?
For real.
Or we know where to send the invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, I think it's time for us to escape. Rat Castle is produced by yours truly, Nathan Hartman. And if you've got those ideas, send it to us via bit.ly/ratcastle. That'll give you all our links, including ratcastlepodcast.podbean.com, which where you can find more information, but also our merch. We have all sorts of shirts and all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to sneeze now. Oh, good.
Gesundheit.
I'm allergic to the endings of my podcast. Oh, excuse me. So please consider subscribing if you haven't already as well. Do it because I'm dying slowly, as you can hear. I have the cough. I'm a Jane Austen character. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, please grab your belongings, you adventurers, and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?